All right, so in this video, I'm just going to share with you a few of my points and insights and reactions to the video that's linked below, which is titled Jordan Peterson Exposes the World Economic Forum. Obviously, kind of a stupid title, but actually the content is quite good, quite useful, quite relevant. And for people that are new to that subject, I think it's a good introduction, a good jumping off point because he summarizes a lot of what's going on there. And for people who are already a bit more familiar, it won't necessarily be anything new, but can add some interesting context or insight. And this whole thing is something I've been following since 2020, pretty much, in terms of the World Economic Forum and the Great Reset and all these policies, which I think, at least for this video, a lot of people won't accuse me of being critical, mean, harsh, or judgmental because I think a lot of the people that watch my channel are already maybe a little alternative minded or conspiracy minded, or maybe already know about this stuff and actually got offended when I criticized conspiracy theories or said that a lot of them might be kind of dumb. But on the flip side, people that aren't of that bias will, of course, say, oh, well, you're crazy. There's no way that any of this stuff is true. And there's no way that the world's wealthiest, most powerful, most influential people all coming together, meeting and organizing about how to shape the course of humanity. There's no way that those people are actually shaping the course of humanity and the unfolding of culture. There's no way that the people meeting for a purpose, for a goal, are actually doing that purpose and goal. And if you think that, obviously you're a crazy conspiracy theorist, nut, right-wing misogynist, extremist, white nationalist, whatever, fill in the blank other manipulative, ridiculous term that people use these days, if you can just actually look at what's occurring. Like, it's like, wow, if you took the most powerful people on the planet and they went in a room together, and then why do they go in the room? To decide policy and to shape the course of the unfolding of our lives. And then the things that they say that should happen or want to happen do happen. Like, how literally obscure and how much do you have to bury your head in the sand to not see that that's occurring? Or to say, no, what I saw on MSNBC is completely actually the truth. And, there's no collusion between media companies and the government. There's no collusion between social media companies and the government. And there's definitely not these overriding bodies that are the quote-unquote measurers of truth or facts or fact checkers that these institutions use. And there's no way that those institutions are actually funded by private companies and organizations or trusts or charities or whatever, philanthropic interests, let's say, that are also owned by the other people that I'm talking about that are meeting in these meetings to decide public policy. There's no way that all of these things are all connected and intertwined financially. So it's like, yeah, for sure. Yes, you're right. Don't worry about it. I understand maybe your brain cannot comprehend connection of dots beyond a slight scale or beyond the slight narrative that's on the news. Yes, it's okay. Yes, the world is exactly like you think it is. People that have power and control have our absolute best interest in mind, and they're instituting policies to save the poor because they care, because they're so generous and philanthropic, even though their entire business history is the exact opposite, whether that's Bill Gates or Rockefeller or many other people, and many other historical figures that if you look at in their actual life, in their actual business dealings, they were complete scumbags. They were not liked. They were not really well regarded. People hated them, and they did a lot of shady stuff. But because they reached such a level of wealth and power, they were able to spend $100 million a year on public relations and hire their own media agency to control their own narrative. And they were able to do philanthropy so that they would go down in history as a great person and not the kind of the scumbag, greedy, maniacal person that they were. And we're seeing that right now with people that I just mentioned earlier. So yeah, for sure, those people definitely care about us and they definitely have our best interest at heart. 100%. Exactly. You're right. And basically, it's basically people we could say rich or powerful or whatever, which to be clear, I don't have anything against being rich or powerful. I think those are actually good things depending on what you do with them. I aim to be rich in my life and wealthy and have as much money and resources as I possibly can because I think that is it frees up a lot of things in your life, but also you can do a lot. Like if you don't have any money, you have no wealth, you have no resources, you have no influence, you have no power. Unfortunately, you're not going to be able to do a lot in the world, but if you have those things, you might be able to do something, or you can create something that will have a real impact rather than just saying, like, the world's a certain way and I wish it were different. Oh, yeah, well, what are you doing about it? What influence do you have over your life? Oh, that's mean. Oh, you're critical. Oh, you're judgmental. Oh, you said something I didn't like. I liked what you said because I was agreeing with you because you're against the people that I'm against. But now you applied the same process to me and my feelings are hurt. Oh. So it's basically people like demanding the government tax the shit out of them and restrict their behavior, restrict their freedoms to save the planet, which in actuality causes more people to go poor and more people to die. And coincidentally, obviously just a coincidence, concentrates more power, more wealth, more resources, more influence, more control in the hands of the quote unquote saviors, which happen to be the ruling class or oligarchs or globalists or whatever you want to put on them. Isn't that a coincidence that we're doing something to save the poor people, meaning us peasants, but it's actually harming us peasants? We are going more poor, more people are lowering their quality of life, and more wealth, power, and resources concentrating in the people that are supposed to be saving us. But all the poor people were like, yeah, this makes sense. Yeah, save us. Yeah, I'm afraid. So it's like, wow, is that a coincidence? So it's like, of course, yes, it makes sense to sign your own death certificate while ensuring that the exact outcome that you're trying to avoid becomes exponentially more likely, all the while telling yourself you're doing the exact opposite because you're standing up for social justice. You're standing up for the planet. You're standing up for the environment. You're so virtuous that you're willing to be a martyr and sacrifice yourself for this greater cause. When in actuality, 99% of the time, the greater cause is just concentrating more power and wealth in the exact people and situations and institutions and policies and behaviors that you claim to be against. But you're telling yourself you're doing the opposite. So that's basically where we are at in history, and I recommend checking out the video.